guys, welcome or welcome back. Today I'm sharing with you my top 12 tips on how to use DAS Pass, also known as Disability Access Service Pass, on your next Disney World vacation. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Anna. On this channel, I share all of my Disney adventures with my two sons and tips and tricks we learn along the way. We have been going to Disney for many years. One of my sons has special needs, so we utilize the DAS Pass on every single trip. So I'm sharing my top 12 tips in this video with you today. In case you have no idea what DAS Pass is, I will give a quick summary. But if you want to learn everything and do a deep dive with me, definitely check out the videos I have linked down below. I cover DAS Pass in many videos and tell you how to pre-register, tell you how to use it, tell you who qualifies for DAS Pass. All of those videos will be linked down in the description below, so definitely check them out. Disability Access Service Pass, also known as DAS Pass, was created for people who have disabilities and who have a very difficult time standing in the regular queue line. Now, not everyone qualifies for DAS Pass, but some people do, so definitely get in contact with Disney. Definitely watch my videos down below if you need more information on who exactly qualifies for DAS Pass. The way DAS works is once you're actually in the park, you have scanned in, you go to My Disney Experience app, you go all the way to the bottom, you find DAS, you select your ride, and it will give you a time back. The time back is usually the same wait time that the ride currently has. So if you're going to Haunted Mansion and the wait time is 45 minutes, it will tell you to come back in 45 minutes. Once you use that ride, you're able to book another one. So it's one at a time. If you want to see more videos and learn more about it, definitely click on the videos down below. But let's get into my top 12 tips. Tip number 1. In order for you to utilize DAS Pass in Walt Disney World, you must have My Disney Experience app. So that means you must have a smartphone. In the app, you'll be able to book your attractions, modify your attractions, cancel your attractions, and essentially manage every aspect of your DAS Pass within the app. So that is a must. Tip number 2, you should always pre-register for DAS in advance before your trip, and you should always select your advanced attractions before your trip. The way you do this is you have to pre-register for DAS Pass with a cast member through My Disney Experience app or through their website 30 days before your first park day, okay? So not 30 days before you land in Orlando, not 30 days before you arrive in your resort, 30 days of your first park day, and no later than 2 days. You're able to select 2 attractions per day per park, and that is incredible. Tip number 3, the day of your pre-registration for your DAS Pass and your pre-selections or your advanced selections, here is a little checklist of things that should be in order before you start the call with the cast member. That you do have an account with My Disney Experience. Make sure that everyone is linked in that account. Make sure that everybody has tickets and everyone's tickets are linked in that account. The person who is in need of the DAS Pass must be present during the pre-registration and pre-selection period. So even if it's a child, even if a child is nonverbal, or even if it's an adult who has difficulty speaking or nonverbal, they still have to be present. Be taking a photo of them so the account is set up and updated and ready to go. Make sure you have all the patients in the world ready to go, because this call can be anywhere from 30 minutes from beginning to the end to 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours. And I have experienced everything in between. We have registered in a matter of 30 minutes from beginning to the end. I've also waited hours before we got to speak to a cast member and register. So make sure that you don't have anywhere to go. Make sure that you're available. Make sure that your child is available, or the person who is registering for DAS Pass is available for the entire duration of the time. Because if they pick up and the person is not here, unfortunately, they're gonna have to hang up and you're gonna have to do this all over again, and we don't want that. Make sure you have your entire schedule and your pre-selection options that you would like to get. It's just very helpful, so that way you could see that, okay, this day we have these dining options or reservations, and on this day I would like to have a pool day, on this day I would like to have a half a day. So then that way when the cast member is offering you rides and times that you don't double book or overbook, because at the end you will probably end up losing this particular attraction that you pre-booked in advance, because they are only available for 1 hour and they expire, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. The cast members, as much as we love them, they will not be able to restore this time for you, restore this pre-selection for you. It's kind of like you use it or you lose it, and the time frame for pre-selections, it's only 1 hour. Okay, I'll leave a link down below to Disney's full list of rides and attractions that you can and cannot select during the pre-selection portion of this. But once you're in the park, of course, you could select anything you want. Tip number 4. So here is a list of rides that you might want to select during each park. Magic Kingdom, I would suggest Peter Pan, Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder, and they're all like in one area or one direction. So if you happen to get one after the other, great for you. You don't have to walk back and forth. The rides that you can't pre-select during advanced pre-selections are Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Space Mountain. But remember, as I mentioned before, once you're physically in the park, you can go on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train as many times as your heart desires. For Epcot, great selections are Soarin', Around the World, or Around California. I don't know if it's still on. We kind of had a little California moment in Walt Disney World. And Test Track is a great option, and Spaceship Earth is also a great option. And then of course, if you have little kids, Seas with Nemo is great. The rides that you can't select during this process are Frozen, Remy, and Guardians of the Galaxy. But again, once you're physically in the park, you're able to do so. But don't forget, Guardians of the Galaxy, it's a little bit different because there's a virtual queue and individual lightning lane. Animal Kingdom, great options are Safaris and Navi River Journey. Beautiful rides, amazing, great selections. I think you can also pre-select one of the shows like the Lion King show, beautiful. The rides that you can't select are Flight of Passage, which is incredible ride, and Expedition Everest. But again, once you're in the park, you can select them. Hollywood Studios, a very excellent selection is Slinky Dog, Toy Story Mania, and Smuggler's Run. Those would be great selections because those rides definitely get busy, especially Slinky Dog and Toy Story Mania, and Smuggler's Run too. The rides that you can select is Rise of the Resistance and Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. I have a hard time saying this name. And again, once you're in a park, you can select it. Tip number 5, if you're going to get a park hopper and do your pre-selections, unfortunately, you can only select your 2 pre-selections for the first park. So if you're starting in Magic Kingdom and finishing, say, in Hollywood Studios, you're only able to do your 2 pre-selections for Magic Kingdom. And then once you get to Hollywood Studios, you will have to just use your DAS Pass and make your 1 at a time selections at that point. Number 6, rides that have virtual queue lines. I think it's 3 rides, maybe 2. So it's definitely Tron, Guardians of the Galaxy, Rise of the Resistance. I think Rise of the Resistance still has a virtual queue, but I'm not sure, so don't come for me. But I think it's these 3 rides. So essentially you have 2 options of getting a boarding group, and you have to get into a boarding group, and your time is at 7 o'clock in the morning from anywhere and 1 o'clock in the afternoon from within the park. You have to get a boarding group, and DAS Pass has no control over when that happens, and whether you get into boarding group 1 or 141, that is just your chance and luck, and that's how it goes. So you cannot use a DAS Pass to get into the group. But once your boarding group is called, you will then go to the ride. You will find a cast member, preferably somewhere around the lightning lane area, and tell them that you are utilizing DAS Pass, and they are going to allow you to pass in the lightning lane area and not in the virtual queue area, because the virtual queue line is still going to be very, very long, and the lightning lane line is going to be a lot shorter, maybe 10, 15 minutes, most 20. So that is how that's going to work. Tip number 7, as soon as the person who is utilizing DAS Pass scans in and is in the park, you're able to start booking your DAS pass. Remember, it's only one at a time, but this one is a little bit different than your pre-selections because it is one at a time and it won't expire. So say you want to go to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and the wait is 90 minutes, so it will give you a time back in 90 minutes and it won't expire. So if in the middle of this you want to go eat, you want to go back to the resort, you want to go ride some rides or watch the parade, if you want to go ride some rides that have very little to no wait, if you just want to relax, watch the parade, whatever it is that you want to do, you can come back at any time. But you cannot book another one until you have used this one or you cancel this one, okay? So remember that. So they're a little different, okay? Those expire in 1 hour, the pre-selections, and the ones that you select in the park, they're there for the whole day until you cancel it, use it, or until the park closes. Tip number 8, the pre-selections that you made before you entered the park, whether they're rides, attractions, shows, those will expire in 1 hour. I know I already mentioned it, but I just wanted to give it its own tip number because a lot of people get frustrated because you don't use it, you lose it. Honestly, you might have 5 or 10 minute grace period, but if you're not there within that 1 hour, unfortunately, that ride, that attraction will expire and you cannot get it back. And there's nothing anyone can do, so just be ready for that. If it happens to you, that's it. Number 9, always remember that the person who has the DAS pass has to scan first at any show, attraction, ride, whatever it might be where they're utilizing their DAS pass. They have to scan first. So essentially you walk up to the attraction, you go to the Lightning Lane because Genie Plus and Lightning Lane share the line. The person who has the DAS pass will scan and their thing will show up blue. I think the cast member sees it on the computer, they verify it, and then every other person in your party will go ahead and scan after that. Tip number 10, there are some rides that tend to be very popular, very busy, have very long queue lines. They have normally 2 scan points or 2 checkpoints where you scan your magic band. So you will scan your magic band in the beginning of the line of the ride, and somewhere midway there will be another checkpoint. And this is good information to know because typically once you have scanned in, whether you're using Genie Plus or DAS, you're able to right away go back into your My Disney Experience app and book another attraction, a show, a ride, whatever it is that you want to do next. But if there is 2 checkpoints, you cannot do that until you scanned for the second time. Now, I don't know all of the rides that have it, and I feel like sometimes it might be different from season to season. I know Flight of Passage has 2 checkpoints. Pretty sure Remy has 2 checkpoints. Mickey and Minnie have 2 checkpoints. Slinky Dog Dash has 2 checkpoints. And I think Seven Dwarfs Mine Train has 2 checkpoints. So there's quite a few of them, but not all of them. So definitely, I'm sure if you want to find that list, if I find it, I will actually put it down below. Maybe there's a blog where people discuss this. So remember, once you scan, if it's only 1 checkpoint, you're able to book your another DAS pass right away. If there's another one halfway through the queue, you have to wait, unfortunately, until you scan the second one in order to book your next attraction using your DAS pass or Genie Plus. Tip number 11, I personally think that you should purchase a Genie Plus so you could use it alongside with DAS pass. Now, it might not be for everyone, it might not be for every day, it might not be for every single park, because some parks are busier than others, some parks have more rides than others. Depends during the season you're going. Some seasons are so busy, some seasons are so incredibly quiet. But I think if you're hoping to do a lot of attractions and not waste time waiting around, not waste time, I don't know, doing nothing, you should definitely consider using Genie Plus alongside with DAS Pass. I think it's worth it. We use it and my son is like the happiest little boy. I have a great video about stacking lightning lanes using Genie Plus. I will also link it down in the description. Check it out. But just to give you an example of how well you could use DAS Pass and Genie Plus and virtual queue, and if you decide to purchase an individual lightning lane all together, and how many rides you can have before you even get to the park. All right, so let me break this down as quick as possible, but definitely check out the video below. It's very helpful, a lot of great information. So say you did your advanced selections. So before you even got to Magic Kingdom, you have 2 rides booked. So say those rides are going to be Haunted Mansion and Peter Pan. So now it's 7 o'clock in the morning, you purchased Genie Plus and you got Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So now you have 3. Now you're also gonna get a boarding group for Tron, and you get it. Now you have 4. You have 4 rides, attractions ready to go before you ever are in the park. Now say you want to also purchase an individual lightning lane that is an additional cost for Tron, because maybe you want to do Tron multiple times. So you go ahead and purchase that. So now you have your 2 pre-selections, which say you selected Peter Pan and Haunted Mansion. You have your virtual queue for Tron. You purchased an individual lightning lane for Tron, and you also got Genie Plus and you used it for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So you have 5 attractions ready to go before you ever got into the park. And now as soon as you have scanned in, you're able to use your DAS Pass and book another attraction. So now say we want to do Pirates of the Caribbean. So now you have 6 attractions, 6 rides, 6 things to do, and your day just started. And that is incredible. That is how we use it. And I know it's extra cost, but if doing more rides, more attractions, more shows is important to you, then that is the way to do it. I definitely recommend getting Genie Plus, at least for Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, as those are some of the more busier parks, and those are the parks that have more rides. Tip number 12, unlike Genie Plus and or individual lightning lane, you're only able to use that particular attraction one time, and that's it. So if you wanted to use it to go to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, you used Genie Plus once to go on it, and you could purchase an individual lightning lane to go once on it, and that's it. You won't be able to go on it again. Now when you have Disability Access Service Pass, also known as DAS Pass, you can go on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train as many times as possible, as many times as your heart desires, as many times it is possible to go in the day. My son loves Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, so we usually utilize it like that. Purchase individual lightning lane, get Genie Plus lightning lane, and then we use DAS Pass for him multiple times throughout the day to allow him to go many times on this ride. Because when you have kids who are stuck on one particular thing and they want to do it over and over again, it's definitely difficult when you are only using Genie Plus or individual lightning lane, because like I said, you could only go once or twice. But when you do have Disability Access Service Pass, you can go as many times as you want. All right guys, well I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any further questions, definitely leave them down in the comments below and I will do my best to answer them. But remember, I don't work for Disney. I'm just a mom who has a child who has special needs, and we have been utilizing DAS Pass for many years. So I'm here just sharing all the tips and tricks that I have learned along the way that has helped us during our trips. The videos that I have mentioned throughout this video will be linked. There's many DAS related videos. There's also lightning lane stacking video, which is very helpful if you're planning on using DAS and Genie Plus. And if I find anything else that's helpful, I will also put it down below. And of course, those helpful links from Disney where they list all of the attractions that you're able to book during the pre-booking window. All right guys, well if you enjoyed this video and it was helpful, definitely give it a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel and I'm so grateful I'm able to come back and do more videos like this for you guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. Forever grateful. Thank you so much, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.